Let's get to another big story of the day. We talk about all these factors that are influencing the market. One, we had the Fed, but then we also had this big announcement out from Abbott. And we saw the reaction in Abbott's shares today. The stock up almost 8% on this news. Now the news coming that Abbott has now gained FDA authorization for a $5 rapid coronavirus test. Now, here to talk a little bit more about this and also finding a COVID-19 vaccine, I want to bring in Dr. Soren Christiansen, former head of vaccines at Merck. He's now the CEO of Sharps Technology. We also have Yahoo Finance's Anjalee Khemlani joining the conversation. And Dr. Christiansen, let's just talk about this test. I mean, the fact that it can produce results in 15 minutes, it doesn't require lab equipment. Abbott's saying that it's going to be able to produce 50 million a month by October. How big of a game changer is this?
Yeah, to me, this is really a game changer. So you pointed out a couple of points with this test. So access should not be a problem. They have promised to manufacture 50 million per month. Timing should not be a problem. And I would add that the accuracy of the test, as far as I've been watching, is 98%. So it's very reliable. So when you get the results, you can basically trust that you are positive or you are negative. So this is really fantastic to me.
Yeah, Dr. Christiansen, I also think this speaks to the broader issue here, and that, of course, is the fact that the testing in this country is not at the level at what it needs to be. And we're still, this obviously is a step in the right direction, but a lot of the tests that are out and available right now, they're simply taking too long for people to get the results back. When do you expect the U.S. to get to the testing level needed to get the pandemic under control?
I think this news from Abbott could really take this to a new level. So to me, testing is critically important. I mean, when you test more people, you get more people infected, announced as well. But testing, I think it differs a lot from state to state, even within the different states. What is the testing capacity? I mean, you need, in some instances, you need to wait to get an appointment with a hospital where you can get tested. And then it takes often 3, 4, 5 days before you get the result. Where, in that period of time, you could potentially infect other people unless you quarantine yourself. So I think, the timing, 15 minutes to get the results, a lot of tests available, a reasonable price. I think this could really be a game changer.
And doctor, when you say game changer, how do you think a rapid test changes the approach by which we fight the virus in the US? You look at schools, for example. I was just looking at numbers in Florida, 9,000 students who've been infected since schools began. But the argument has always been that if you can find out on that day how many of these students have the virus, then that would be one way to safely reopen schools.
Yeah, so I still believe that one of the best activities to do is to wear a mask. That is point number one. And I could imagine as well with this rapid result that you could let people into sport events again. You have to show up early, but if you had enough people to test the spectators, that could be fantastic as well. And at schools, universities, colleges, I think this is something that could give us a little bit of a more normal life back.
Dr. Christiansen, hi, Rick Newman. So the Trump administration said it wants to buy 150 million of these tests. So if you just do the simple math, Abbott can produce about 50 million per month. The government wants to buy essentially the first 3 months worth of production. That's basically monopolizing purchase and then I guess distribution of the test. Does that sound like the right approach to you? Is that better than dispensing these into different healthcare systems directly and that kind of thing?
That's a good point. I don't know if this is the right approach. I mean, you see the same approach with the vaccine candidates that are in development. That governments, not only in the United States but across the globe, they log in vaccine manufacturers to be sure that they have enough vaccine when hopefully it shows it's safe and efficacious. Then they have logged in a lot of vaccines. So UK, as an example, they have currently locked in 300 million doses of a COVID-19 vaccine from 3 different companies. And that's with a population of 65, 67 million. So I think we will see the same, with a vaccine when that becomes available, as we see now with tests, that all governments, they try to get access as much as they can to make sure that their inhabitants can be tested or vaccinated. That will be a big issue, I think, when the vaccine becomes available.
Hey, Dr. Christiansen, just real quick, what do you think is a realistic timeline for when a vaccine will be available just at the scale that you were just talking about that it needs to be? Because I think that's the big issue, and that's the question that a lot of people have been struggling to answer up until this point.
Yeah, so I believe the most advanced in the United States is Moderna's vaccine. They're currently running a clinical phase 3 program where they include 30,000 people. They will report out at the end of October. So if that turns out to be positive, that's a 2-dose regimen, which creates another logistic challenge. But if they have a positive result, which I believe they will, that vaccine would potentially be available by the end of this year or early next year. I would say not in the number of doses that we really want, but then they will quickly scale up, and that's the next challenge. Now, who gets vaccinated first?
Great. Dr. Soren Christiansen, former head of vaccines at Merck, now CEO of Sharps Technology. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yep, thank you.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.